Hi, this is Christopher Mickelson. I'm here today to tell you a bit about the work that I carry out with my brother David on behalf of the organization Refugees United. Essentially, Refugees United is an organization that's focused exclusively on helping separated refugee families across the globe reconnect. The organization came about after my brother and I met a young Afghan refugee in the year 2005, a young man named Mansour who had escaped the Taliban with his family, fleeing Afghanistan into Pakistan, from where a human trafficker was supposed to send out the family from a city called Peshawar towards the relative stability and safety of northern Europe. The human trafficker ended up separating the entire family, and when we met Mansour 5 years later, he told us the story and how he'd waited for his family to come join him in Denmark, and we offered him our help to try and discover what had happened to his loved ones. In the process of helping Mansour, David and I discovered that amongst the large multinational organizations assisting refugees on a global scale, no IT infrastructure had been created. No digital tools were in place to help them capture information on separated family members and share across a data repository where you could cross-reference and exchange information and make sure that once parents were looking for children, siblings for each other, and so on, you could ensure that regardless of where in the world they were, you could connect them at a relative fast pace. Mansour, David, and I ended up finding his one younger brother in the south of Russia in a city called Stavropol, not too far from the Chechenian border. And we discovered the young man there after having bribed the trafficker that had shipped out Mansour 5 years earlier. We'd found him in Pakistan and brought him to disclose that he'd indeed sold, as we were to find out, Mansour's one younger brother into slavery to this family in Stavropol. And in October 2005, my brother and I managed to travel to Moscow with Mansour and have his younger brother smuggled up from the south and into the city, where we reunited the two after 6 years of absolute uncertainty and absolute silence. An epiphanous moment that definitely changed our lives, in the sense that we began questioning the process we'd gone through, discovering, as I said, that no digital infrastructure connected information across camps, across conflicts, across countries, and that very little information traveled between organizations, and more importantly, that refugees themselves were not included in the process. So essentially you had a small number of people trying to help an enormous amount of people out in the greater world, whereas we saw this as an opportunity to include the refugees themselves in the process and reverse the cycle so that you had many people towards one touch point, seeing that you had many refugees with mobile phones that could connect to our databases, submit information, extract information, and use that knowledge to connect themselves across camps, across countries, and across conflicts. And the realization that Mansour's story was just one out of millions led us to basically create Refugees United as a low-cost, low-tech mobile platform to empower not just the refugee organizations to better capture data and collaborate with each other, but very much to include the refugees themselves in the process. And we thought that this was going to be a simple task. We were young and naive, and probably still are, but what essentially began as a 6 to 9 months project of helping the organizations build platforms to make them more efficient turned into a life mission that's now running on its 7th year. And I think it's important to understand that when we began this, David and I knew nothing about refugees, and we knew even less about technology. So it was a steep learning curve, but I think that our outsider's perspective on things, our ability to not just think outside the box, but think completely outside the room, because we'd never dealt with any of these things before, led us to be able to tackle these problems in a very innovative and very groundbreaking way. And I think our results speak for themselves. I could talk for hours about this, but knowing that I've got limited time, we're currently helping 217,500 refugees in their search for missing family. We have created partnerships with every single one of the largest mobile operators across the African continent and moving into the Middle East. We have sent out hundreds of thousands of text messages, soon building into the tens of millions. We've reached millions of people through radio campaigns, and we've helped reconnect more than 850 family members in total that we know of. And the reason I say we know of is that on behalf of the refugees, we run an anonymous platform that serves to serve them within the challenges that they face, often being persecuted, living in countries that are not affording them the best opportunities and trying to play into what they know, what they understand, and what they need. Essentially, that's Refugees United. Technology to benefit some of the most disconnected people in our world. We're proud to be a part of your program and hope that you'll pick us and work with us and help us expand this to help even more millions of people across the globe in the years to come. Thank you so much for listening to what I had to say. I look forward to perhaps meeting you in person. Take care. All the best from Stockholm.